Hey, it's Pat with tonight's recap of America's Next Top Model, and we are kind of getting down to the wire on Cycle 15. Only 7 girls were left in tonight's episode. Let's get into it. First of all, I don't really like episodes like tonight where they have to do the commercials. I'm much more interested in the photo shoots, but they did a commercial. We'll get to that in a second. Very exciting for the girls though, at the beginning of the show because they got to meet top designer Zac Posen. He came to their house with Miss J. And they found out that they were going to do a runway show for his new collection called Z-Spoke. They were going to be modeling with real models and Zac Posen designs. Very cool. Some of the girls were excited. Anne almost pooped her pants because she was very nervous. So they get to the runway show. They're trying on the looks. They realize they're going to walk with real models. And then Miss J, that sneaky devil, tells all the real models to be mean to the top model girls because that's how it's going to be in the real world. Rude, right? Rude. The girls are so mean. It's kind of funny, but they were rude. Of course, the girl totally psyched out Anne. She's already so nervous at the beginning before they even start. And then the girl right behind her in line, right before she goes out, is like, oh, P.S., there's a lot of people out there, so don't mess it up. Anne just basically has diarrhea. She trips on the runway. It was all over for her. I felt so bad. This basically was like Feel Bad for Anne episode. Anne, you're great. Okay? You should know that. All the girls were pretty good. Like, Jane has a great face, but her walk wasn't great. Esther did have a little bit of, like, a crazy drunk pirate walk. I thought Liz was good. Chelsea was great, obviously. I thought Chris was really good, too. I'm going to have to cheat for a second. Who's left? Kayla was good. They were all good. They were all fine. But the winner of the challenge was Chelsea, and she was very excited. Chelsea, you did a great job. I like you. Thank you. Then, fast forward, it's time for the challenge. Mr. J, and Nigel Barker come into the girls' house, and they really need to get a lock on these girls' houses, because people just be coming all up in there whenever they want. But Mr. J and Nigel come to tell the girls they're doing a commercial right outside of their house on the Venice Beach boardwalk. It was stupid. Well, I hate when they do fake products. Does anyone else agree with me? I don't like that they did H to T water. I mean, I guess at least it wasn't ANTM water. Side note, one of my favorite things in Top Model ever is when Nicole in Cycle 5 says, I got my ANTM chocolate. That's one of my favorite parts. If you follow me on Twitter, I tweet that randomly sometimes. Anyway, they do the commercial for H to T water where they're on roller skates and they have to be flirty with the boy. Kayla has a meltdown because she does not want to be intimate in any way with the boy. We find out her deep, dark secret that she was abused when she was younger. Very sad. I'm surprised it affected her so much, but then we realize she never told anybody ever, and she's like, hey, Mr. J, I'm going to tell you and all of the world right now. So props to Kayla for getting that off her chest. It definitely did affect her commercial, but I think she did an okay job considering what she was working with on that commercial. What else? Liz totally, laughed it off. She did that embarrassed laugh thing where you're like, I don't want to mess up, so I'm just going to laugh. I don't even care, but totally bit her in the ass. At the end, Chelsea looked really pretty and did a nice job. Jane was really cute. Roller skating is hard. None of them were really good, except for Chris, who had great commercial, super smiley. It's funny because it's funny to me that they're doing I just realized this, that they're doing commercials at all when this is the high fashion cycle and they're not supposed to be commercial, but they still made a commercial. I guess America's Next Top Model has to do that as well, but they're going to have to do the CoverGirl commercial thing, but I think that it was a little mixed messagey. Who else? Esther Molester. This was not for her. I don't even think she did that bad, but you knew right away Esther was done. And Anne, again, feel bad for Anne week. She just psyched herself out, man, and she fell, and that, if you're worried about being embarrassed and from falling, and then you fall 4 seconds into it, I feel bad for her, but at least they give her elbow pads and stuff, because she's so bony that it probably really hurt when she fell, so I hope you have recovered from your injuries. And is there anybody else? Liz, Kayla, Anne, Chris, Esther, Chelsea, Jane. No, it's a small group. So at panel, Chris was the first call-out. She was great, followed by Jane, then a bunch of other people. The bottom was not Liz. Very surprised. It was Anne, who's had the top spot 5 weeks in a row, minus last week. and Esther, and obviously they're going to send Esther home and not Anne, everyone's favorite. Okay, so that was kind of sad for Esther, but Esther was a little boring to me, and her voice, I just want to be like, blow your nose, Esther. Why is your voice always stuffy? That's how I felt. Next week, the girls are going to Italy. They're going to go to Venice and ride in a gondola, and it's big on Italian Vogue style time. Are you guys excited? I'm kind of like, I'm glad, I like when it gets down to the wire, and we start weeding out the, like, obviously you're not going to win, girl. So, who did you think did the best this week? Who do you think is going to go home next week? I don't even know anything about what happens next week, but just make a guess anyway. And if you want to see some more photos from this week's episode, you can go to blogabouttthings.com or click the link down here in the description and leave some comments, and I'll read them, and then I'll see you again in a week. You know how this works. Bye!